Look, we're all so used to seeing those flashy startups and all that glamorous hustle culture everywhere we look, right? But what if I told you the absolute smartest way to generate passive income is actually through the most boring businesses imaginable? Seriously. Today, we're diving into a blueprint for profitable passive enterprises in this explainer. We're going to break down 8 incredibly boring businesses that can literally make you money while you sleep.
So we really need to radically reframe how we view a profitable enterprise. Usually, when we think of a successful new venture, we picture a fancy office, a massive team, or maybe hoping for viral Instagram luck to drive sales. And let's be honest, that sounds absolutely exhausting. But what if boring equals money? We're going to contrast that typical, flashy, burnout-inducing venture with highly reliable, systems-based businesses, the kind where your customers are happily paying you, and you aren't even in the same zip code.
All right, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll be covering the exciting business myth, automated asset machines, monetizing empty space, and recurring service systems. Then I want you to pay special attention to Section 5 because we're building up to an asset model that boasts infinite scalability before wrapping it all up with the boring business blueprint. Let's jump right into Section 1, the exciting business myth.
This perfectly illustrates the trap so many entrepreneurs fall into. On one side, you've got exciting but exhausting. This path demands constant attention, a heavy dose of viral luck, and basically leaves you trading your precious time for money. Now, contrast that with boring but profitable. These ventures, they rely on basic human needs, they run on automated systems, and most importantly, they generate recurring income. Chasing excitement is a fast track to burnout, whereas these boring businesses leverage automation to do the heavy lifting for you day in and day out.
Moving right along to Section 2, automated asset machines. Instead of looking at these as just a bunch of random ideas, let's look at their shared DNA. Coming in at number 8, we have vending machines for snacks and drinks. Number 7, laundromats. I mean, nobody grows up dreaming of owning a laundromat, right? But people need clean clothes every single week, and it can buy total financial freedom. Then we've got number 5, car washes, serving millions of people who just want a clean vehicle. And number 3 is ATMs, providing cash access where it's still highly demanded. The big thing tying all of these together is the incredibly high automation level. They rely on self-service transactions, digital payments, and need very, very little daily staffing. Think of these not just as businesses, but as automated machines placed out in the real world. You drop a vending machine or an ATM in a spot with high foot traffic where people already need them. And once they're stocked, placed, and maintained, sales just happen continuously. This right here is where the magic of sleep money truly happens. You can literally monitor your sales remotely from your couch using just your phone, while the machines fulfill these continuous consumer demands entirely via self-service. It gives you ultimate freedom. Next up is Section 3, monetizing empty space. Okay, this is a brilliant, undeniable truth. People will actually pay for empty space. It's wild. You're essentially selling nothingness. This simple realization is the foundation for 2 incredibly robust businesses on our list. Number 6, self-storage, and number 4, parking spaces. Think about it. People just have way too much stuff and nowhere to put it. And in busy areas, cars desperately need a place to sit. You are providing something incredibly simple, literally just concrete squares, and people will happily hand over their hard-earned cash for them month after month. Now, what's really fascinating here is how modern technology transforms a raw plot of land, or just an empty storage unit, into a highly efficient automated revenue stream. You aren't just buying dirt anymore. You're adding automated gate access via smartphone apps, you're setting up digital payment gateways so customers get billed automatically every month, and you're tracking your capacity remotely. It completely turns an empty physical asset into highly recurring monthly revenue without you ever needing to actually be on site. Let's keep going with Section 4, recurring service systems. Taking the number 2 spot on our list is property maintenance. Now, this entirely relies on recurring service contracts, agreements where customers pay continuously for routine maintenance. We're talking lawn mowing, house cleaning, pest control, tasks that sound incredibly dull. But here is the secret. Customers need these services again and again and again. Securing a contract that turns one single customer acquisition into months or even years of scheduled recurring revenue is absolutely brilliant. It builds a predictable, rock-solid foundation for any business. We have arrived at Section 5, the ultimate scalable asset. To really appreciate our final category, we first have to look at the limitations of physical businesses. They're great, don't get me wrong, but they are ultimately limited by 3 steps. First, you have to buy the physical machine or the land, which costs capital. Second, you have to place it in a prime location, which is finite. And finally, you eventually hit step 3. You max out its physical capacity, right? A parking lot can only hold so many cars. A laundromat only has so many machines. Your revenue is strictly capped by those physical limits. And that brings us to the number 1 spot on our list, the one that bypasses those physical limitations entirely. Taking the crown for the ultimate boring sleep money business is digital products and subscriptions. We are talking about highly scalable digital assets here. Things like document templates, how-to guides, design assets, software tools, and educational resources. Think about the beauty of this. You create a useful asset exactly one time on your laptop. From there, you can sell access to it repeatedly to a global audience, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When a new customer buys, a notification pops up, they get their download, and you incur essentially zero marginal cost. There's no land to buy, there are no machines to fix, it is pure infinite scalability. Which leads us perfectly into section 6, the boring business blueprints. There's a quote that goes, "The secret isn't finding a business that looks exciting. It's finding a business that solves a problem people have repeatedly and then building systems around it." That is the golden rule, right there. It perfectly captures the core thesis of everything we've unpacked in this explainer. You have to look for recurring problems, needing cash, needing a clean car, needing space, needing a software template, and stop chasing those flashy, fleeting trends. So the biggest takeaway here, the major mindset shift I want you to walk away with today, is that boring does not equal bad business. In fact, it is usually the exact opposite. Sometimes the most mundane, unglamorous business concepts actually generate the most reliable, interesting money. Let me say it again. Boring does not equal bad. Boring equals bank. So I've got to ask, which one would you choose as you start planning your own escape from the exhausting time for money grind? Are you drawn more to the physical reality of vending machines and literal concrete squares? Or does the infinite scale of digital products catch your eye? The world is full of recurring problems just waiting for boring solutions. So what boring money machine are you going to build first?